Hey baby, where you been so long? She was in the field dressing in the field with a field dress and her high heels on. I ain't gonna lie, had some records playing, been dancing in the kitchen. What was left of your mason jar is gone. I've been missing you when dancing by myself. Don't you know how hard it is to slow dance with no one else? And hurry home, but be careful along the way, 'cause I'm tired, so tired, being lonesome today. And I'm tired, so tired, being lonesome today. And put your loving, all your loving on me, darling. And all your loving, it's been a while since you've been gone. And put your loving, all your loving on me, darling. First thing when you walk in the door, I can't wait for your loving anymore. Let's be shut in to see me. Get the music playing, and it's just our luck. I found some wine behind the cellar door. Feels like forever since we've last been together. Love the way your arms feel around me, dancing old time and swinging to and fro. I've been missing you when dancing by myself. And don't you know how hard it is to slow dance with no one else? And hurry home, but be careful along the way, 'cause I'm tired, so tired of being lonesome today. And I'm tired, so tired of being lonesome today. So put your loving, all your loving on me, darling. And all your loving, it's been a while since you've been gone. And put your loving, all your loving on me, darling. The first thing when you walk out the door, I can't wait for your loving.
That was Field Dressin' by Thomas Dirk, who is sitting here with us now live at the Dock at Water in Chillicothe, Ohio on GoneRogueRadio.com. Also with him is Mr. Steve Hummel. These gentlemen just played some music here at the Dock tonight. How you doing tonight?
Good. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Yeah. I'm Lori Graves, and
I'm Carlin Haggerty.
And we're going to be entertaining you here for the next hour with these gentlemen, talking about their music and our usual segments. And I guess we can just go ahead and jump right into talking about stuff. Carlin, you have any shows this past week?
I went to Pomeroy, Ohio, and did a show down at the Court Street Grill. Love to go down there. They always treat us pretty good. But going to the show, had a little incident I'd like to talk about. And I was going to save it for later in the show.
Oh, no, do it now.
But since you brought it up, I'm just going to talk about it. When I perform comedy, I have what I call my comedy clothes, and it's a black suit, a purple shirt, a white bow tie, and white. It's border vaudeville. That's kind of the way I think about it.
Or Khloe Kardashian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Snazzy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely snazzy. So I'm leaving MacArthur, Ohio, and I pull into a convenience store to get a pop for the ride down the road. And there are two guys in a Jeep, and I hear coming out of the Jeep, "Look at that pretty boy. What a sissy. What a faggot." Man, and just all kind of stuff. And it wasn't a good-natured ha-ha. It was a like, let's get out and bash this guy.
Wait, someone called you pretty boy?
Oh, please. You had to see these boys, though. I was head and shoulders above them.
That's got to be a fucking miracle.
It was a couple rednecks in a beat-up Jeep, and I didn't say anything because, A, couldn't think of anything witty to say, and B, I didn't want my ass kicked by two hill jacks. And as I walked by their Jeep to get in my car, I noticed they were drinking beer, so I just went ahead and waved out and got in my car and called 1-800-GRAB-DUI. So I'm praying that there was a white Jeep pulled over in Vinton County by these bastards. So
Asshole move 1.
yeah.
Karma -1.
Yeah. Checkmate.
Don't ever drink around Carlin and his pretty boy suit. Pretty boy? Really?
That's.
I didn't know anybody from Vinton County could get called pretty boy out in public.
I'll tell you, if it was a joke, and I can take a joke, and I take crap from people daily, but literally, these guys were looking for something, and I don't think it was loving. I think they were just looking to bash my skull or something. So
You were just being mean. You guys
Yeah.
have been called. You've probably been called pretty boy, haven't you, Thomas?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to call him that at the end of the
Steve?
show.
I get chased by trucks all the time, and when they pull up right next to me, they're like, "Faggot." I'm like, "It's not my fault you thought I was a girl."
It's because you have great hair. That's why.
Long flowing locks.
Yeah, Hummel's
Stunning.
Hummel's kind of hanging tonight. Where'd you drink last night, Hummel?
Here.
Here at the dock. Yeah.
Been
Put in
here
a good
for
shift.
24 hours.
Do some shots, buddy, or just
Oh yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Nice to
Our closer next week here at the dock for open mic is Brian Millian on his Facebook. He put something about Cinco de Mayo falling on Taco Tuesday and that there really was a God. I thought that was hilarious.
That's pretty good. I said that that's the celebration of when the Mexicans opened up a pinata of whoop ass on the French.
There you go. I also heard read that somebody put on there Cinco de Mayo isn't like St. Patrick's Day because everybody on St. Patrick's Day thinks they're Irish, but nobody claims to be Mexican on Cinco de Mayo. So I thought that was a little hilarious, you know. But so we are here sitting here talking to Steve and Tom. We're going to ask them some music questions and talk about their music career. I'll start off with Thomas, and Steve's obviously hung over as balls right now.
Like a wet towel.
But when did you start playing music?
I probably started playing out and about a little over 10 years when I was 18.
When you were 18, was music something you always wanted to do in life?
Yeah, I think from a young age I realized that, you know, that's really I wanted that to be a big part of my life, and really gear just everything towards doing music.
Music. Do you have any? What were your like when you were younger? What were some of your first influences in music that you had?
Oh, it kind of ranges just from how diverse my family was in listening with music. Anything from old soul, Etta James, Aretha Franklin, with my grandmother.
Jack Thomas
yeah.
Dirk does an excellent Etta James at last. He always plays that for me when I'm
How
in the
cool
crowd.
is that?
Yeah, kills it. But
Wow.
No, thank you.
yeah, but so your grandmother listened to all that stuff.
Yeah, and then on the other side, the other grandparents listened to old gospel and bluegrass, and
sounding. That's why you sound the way you do.
yeah, it kind of, you know,
All these years, I never knew that.
yeah, borderlines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about. I know you play a lot around, but you did do something pretty significant here. When was the radio station contest you were in?
Oh, that was mercy, like 3 or 4 years ago.
2 years ago, and what was it? CD?
No, it was the Blitz,
The Blitz,
997.
997.
Mhm.
And you entered a contest, and it was kind of what was it based on? Like,
kind of like the voice over the radio sort of thing. Yeah, you'd have call in, put their votes in and whatnot, and then just kind of went from there.
yeah, and you won that contest.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
being
that was-
Chillicothe, it was a Columbus station. You won, and brag on yourself a minute. It was by a landslide, was it not?
It was a lot. I believe it was by like 6 million or so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's a syndicated show, so
Yeah, he blasted.
online,
Very cool.
people calling in.
Is that maybe recorded anywhere for posterity that we can go to it?
Oh man,
Is it probably YouTube or something? or-
YouTube possibly. I think some videos are running around. Actually, took their iPad and
Yeah.
and taped the
If you,
computer.
Of course, your mom did. I love your
Yeah.
mom. Yeah.
If you
So-
shoot those two, we'll put them. Shoot those to us. We'll put them up on the website
Yeah,
so people
sure.
can check it out. 'Cause that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was
that.
a lot of
We
fun.
were very proud of
Well,
him.
certainly.
Very proud. Thomas
Yeah, I
Dirk.
was very thankful. Everybody kind of rallied together, and I was like, this is really big.
But one of your interesting prizes was, didn't you win Pepsi for?
Yeah, I
Or was
won.
that a year or life, or what was it?
It was for a year. I got certificates or coupons for a free 12-pack, 52. So like, I guess they think that
That you just got a 12-pack a month?
a week.
Oh, a week. I was going to
Yeah,
say, because
so
that's
yes.
kind of shitty. I
Yeah,
mean,
52 coupons of 12 packs.
were you just like just razzed out on Pepsi for a year? Or
Well,
did you?
I really don't drink a whole lot of soda, so it was just like you
Yeah.
know, friends.
I always
like,
wanted to
"Hey,
ask you exactly what the equivalent of what Pepsi considers to be a
Pepsi
year's
considers
supply.
a year's worth of supply as 52 12 packs.
Wow.
That's interesting. I wonder what Coke would have gave you. If it would have been more.
Oh, I'm sure they would have hooked me up.
Yeah.
It would give you teeth ground down and up for 72 hours. Oh, Coca-Cola. My bad.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is a semi-fucking family show, Carlin. So but
We're not doing
I don't
blow
know what you're
hookers'
talking
asses or
about in case
nothing.
Mom's listening.
yeah, none of us know what any of us are talking about on the Lori and Carlin show. So, what have you been doing lately here? What have you been doing recently?
I've actually been recording and writing for an alternative rock sort of venture.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
sort of, I don't know, Foo Fighter-ish, sort of, I don't know.
Is that going to be like a band or?
Yeah, it's actually.
Does this band have a name?
No, it doesn't right now. It's just a friend and I. He plays drums. His name's Adam, and we're pretty much just writing this record ourselves and going to record it. So we're really just kind of putting the record together before the
so
band is
cool.
actually put together. So it's really just kind of a for fun thing, and then hopefully it turns into something. 'Cause
Nice.
We're having a lot of fun doing it.
I know you've been playing a lot here in Chillicothe. What kind of dates do you have coming up here in the next couple of weeks as you look at your iPhone?
Let me consult the paddle here.
While you're doing that, yeah. Do you have anything online? I know Carlin, you've got his website.
Yes, it is. Well, you go to Thomas Dirk Moore on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then also you go to Steve Hummel on Facebook for Steve.
Yeah, we're gonna hit Hummel up here in a minute when we
Yeah.
get Dirk's dates. And Dirk, do you have music online available for people to listen to?
I believe so. You know, I kind of run into the fault of, you know, I do play music for a living, and I'm not too, I'm not very good at self-promotion. So a lot of like the thomasdirk.com and thomasdirkmusic.com is kind of like went by the wayside.
Well,
so I'm sure if you look and you want to find it, it'll make it that much more sad. Like
search
man,
in Google, yeah.
I had to, you know, rent a reference book and to find what's going on here. So yeah, it's out there somewhere.
It's out there. It's fine. And it'll be under Thomas Dirk or Thomas Dirk Moore.
Yeah.
Do you have anything under Dirk
The
Moore?
early stuff.
He has a
No.
lot of aliases.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
I'm
to
going
keep the
with
women away from him. That's
Oh,
what it is.
He is a
Keep the
good-looking
tricks
son of a
guessing.
bitch.
I think next is gonna be like the Prince symbol thing.
The Prince symbol.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. We should trifecta one night and figure a symbol out. And I'm not telling you what trifecta means. But yeah, we should do that. We should do it. We could sit and draw them. I bet
Yeah.
we could draw some good shit.
I bet we
sit
could.
down.
Figure it
Dirk
out.
and I sat one night and drank a whole bottle of port wine, and then thought it would be a good idea to go to the Cross Keys and drink a bunch of Jameson. That didn't end very well.
Holy
for us.
Lord crap.
Yeah, I just got back from a trip, and I sent him a text. I'm like, "You want to drink this port with me?" And I remember our face got real hot when we were drinking that. It was real.
No, it was.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty smoky because he said it was grown in old tobacco fields.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like
The wine in North
grapevines.
Carolina,
Yeah.
a lot of the wineries, the fields are built on old tobacco farms. So you get that tobacco taste in the wine, and actually at the end of your wine glass, when you're finished, if you smell the inside of the glass, you get a hint of a tobacco smell.
Is that right?
In North Carolina wineries, yeah, I didn't know that. A friend of mine lives down there and told me about it. So,
Yeah.
so of course we had to drink all the port so we could see if the glass smelled. That was
They
the
had
main
to
thing.
see if the bottle smelled.
Yeah, we had to see. We had to check
Oh,
things out.
it was an experiment.
Yeah, well, it was an experiment that
It's for the good of all.
it was good, and then
That's cool because you know about wine and I don't know crap about it. Kind of like me boring you with beer stories, so that's pretty cool.
yeah, when you call it harps.
I certainly do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like the Walmarts, he says
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
harps. The
Yeah.
harps
Yeah, I
here.
make one
yeah.
mistake and I'm going to hear it for the rest of my freaking life.
Yeah.
Are you sure we're not married?
Thank you, Jesus, we're not.
you say
yeah,
that.
I did
want
crack
some?
on you today on Facebook. Every time Carlin posts something, he puts like 18 exclamation points in it, so he gets excited on
Really
social
serious.
media. Yeah, like Carlin exclamation point, somebody else exclamation point, then the venue exclamation point, the date exclamation point, and I put something exclamation point, punctuation exclamation point is fun exclamation point. So
I just responded to her that I'm going to live for another 50 years and I'm going to do a million things, and I'm pretty sure in Lori's eyes they're all going to be wrong.
they will be, and
So-
I will crack on everyone as long as I've got a thumb to text. I'll
There you
crack
go.
on
I'm
every one of
pretty
them.
sure. I'm pretty sure.
Well, we'll kick it over to Stephen. I know you don't want to do this, but you're going to do it anyway. So we're going to talk to you. The same thing we did to Dirk. You have also been a musician for most of your life. When did you start playing music, Stephen?
I started playing violin in the 4th grade because I had
Very
this
cool.
huge crush on this neighborhood girl. I was like, Mom, I really want to play the violin.
Dude, high five.
Yeah.
That's the best reason to do anything.
And then I worked real hard to get to the next
Laid.
chair. You
Oh.
know. Oh yeah, I'm still working on that, man.
Good luck.
And I practiced really, really hard just to play. God, I was probably at the hop or something, you know, like some horrible old song or whatever. And I finally got to sit next to her. was like, yes, man, this is working. I had it right next to my neighborhood crush, and then she quit the year afterwards.
Oh no.
So my parents were like, we bought this damn thing. You have to keep playing this. So I played till high school. Didn't get any better at the violin. I just started playing guitar.
Nice. Well, so were some of your early influences classical, or just the violin was just solely for the chick?
It was just solely for the chick. Man.
Solely for the chick.
Very cool.
After you picked up the
Noble.
guitar, because you guys play multiple. I know you're in a band. You play multiple instruments.
I'm banging on all kinds of stuff.
Yes, I think you do.
Yeah.
And are you currently in the band?
Just the loose pockets that play down here like every first Tuesday.
Every first Tuesday. Yeah. So what are some of your favorite influences that you have that you can think of from when you were younger?
Thomas Dirk is one of my favorite influences.
Oh.
Yeah.
His neighbor's vagina.
Yeah. That was a big influence, apparently.
It's ruined many of us.
Just let's just now. Do you know? Did you ever lose track of her?
She's actually doing what I'm doing. I'm going through nursing school.
She's going through nursing school?
that right?
Really?
Yeah, I just saw it on Facebook. It's
Maybe
kinda
now
weird.
she's trying to get back to you.
Good
I
point.
doubt it.
Maybe
Comes
she
around.
is. Yeah, there you go,
Totally
Hummel.
doubt it. I think
Go
she threw
see.
a rock at me or something, like in the 5th grade. I was
Well, that
like,
means
this
she
girl's
loves you.
dangerous,
In 5th
man.
grade, that just means she's hot for you. She's
Yeah, dude, seriously, work this nursing angle. I mean, at least you could do is like bang her and then leave her, just as like
anatomy experiments.
for the torture of going to the violin.
Oh,
you
yes.
should do that to her. Just
Oh, I think she-
bang and leave, bang and leave.
Yeah, she deserves to walk home feeling dirty about herself and questioning her life decisions.
Probably
Oh,
do
I'm
that
sorry, that's
anyway.
every date I've ever had.
So you are at Loose Pockets every Tuesday here at the Dock at Water.
Every
Swallow
first
Coffee.
Tuesday, yep.
Every first Tuesday. What's the times on that?
7 to 10.
7 to
actually.
10? Yeah.
Started kicking a little early.
I know it's a good time. I know it is a good time to
Got
come
John
in.
Call from Pure Prairie League playing steel, and the rest of the guys. Ashley Good singing now.
Oh, nice.
Very
Nice,
cool.
nice,
Thierry
nice.
and Kevin.
We'll have to come and record sometime on a Tuesday.
Oh,
and get
that'd
some
be-
of you guys
yes,
in
that would be
and
amazing.
interview the band. Speaking of interviews, Carlin, you do have some interviews from some
I've
of the
got-
comedians that we've worked with?
Yep, we went to Dayton to Wiley's Comedy Joint last Wednesday night, and I saw some of our friends. The trip home was an expensive and long night, but we'll talk about that at another time. But I got to see Sean T. Lynch, Doug Morgan, Spark Tabor, Vic Clevenger, and Linda Belt. And I'm going to go ahead and, for Sean, Doug, and Spark, I interviewed them individually, and I did what I called the lightning round of 5 questions, where I just shot it at them quick, and they shot it back. Doug Morgan didn't fare so well. And then I went ahead and did actually a little bit of a longer interview with Vic Clevenger and Linda Belt. So we're going to go ahead and go to 5 questions with Sean, Doug, Spark, Vic, and Linda. Okay, this is 5 questions, the lightning round. This is Doug Morgan. Doug, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Doug just stepped off stage from hosting and emceeing the show at Wiley's Comedy Club. Doug, how long have you been performing comedy?
5 years.
Okay, Doug.
Lightning.
Lightning. Fast.
That's question 1.
Yes. What would you say has changed in the 5 years?
My sexuality.
Fair enough. What is the most memorable or best gig you've had?
Tonight with you in the green room.
And the fact that I didn't have to perform with
And
you.
you didn't, and it was
Yeah.
great not to have you.
What is the worst gig you've ever done?
A time when it was not good, and it was probably with you.
You're probably right. What is the advice you would give to a newbie coming up into the business?
I would say stop, quit, so I have more opportunities.
Perfect. This has been 5 questions with Doug Morgan. Thank you.
Blue.
Okay, this is 5 questions, the lightning round with Sean T. Lynch. Holler. Sean, how long have you been doing comedy?
7 years, but you'd never know it.
No, that's a lie. You did a great job tonight here at Wiley's. Hey, what is the best gig you've ever had, or the most memorable experience?
All my friends tell me the first time I stepped foot on stage was the best time, and I've done nothing but fall short of that ever since.
Okay, now let's go the exact opposite. How about the worst gig?
The worst gig was at Katz. It's a little place called Katz. Or it's not an arboretum. It's called Katz. We did a show before a band. There were 300 there for the band and about 12 there for us. We literally did comedy to nobody.
Awesome. How'd you feel after that? Did you feel dirty?
I felt like, you know what? This is the fucking challenge. Let's roll, baby. That's when my spirits were high. Okay, move on.
Awesome. What's changed in the 7 years you've been doing comedy?
The amount of comics, the quality of comics has gotten better. I'll be honest with you. You got to compete. I've made more quality friends in my time doing comedy than I ever had throughout my tenure in life, and I fucking appreciate every one of them.
That's awesome. Okay, last question for you. What advice would you give for a newbie?
Think about it, write about it, and take your time to write about it. Before you hit the stage, write for 2 fucking months. Get on stage, test your material, and adjust accordingly. You can do this if you really love it. You can do it.
That's been 5 questions of the lightning round with Sean T. Lynch. Sean, thank you. And I'm here with Spark Tabor doing the lightning round of 5 questions. Spark just came off the stage where he had a great set at Wiley's Comedy Club. Yeah, very funny. I really enjoyed it. Spark, how long have you been performing stand-up?
A little over 4 years.
Okay, what advice would you give for newbies?
Throw away whatever you first think of, because it's probably terrible. And go with whatever that second thought is, because that's going to be less cliche.
Okay. What has changed in your time doing comedy?
You mean like personally, or like on stage? Or
What's changed in comedy?
In the last, I feel like, well, I can say that comedians that I know, like personally that I've met, are getting more opportunities, which makes it seem more real that we could all do this. Like dudes that I party with are now on TV, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this could actually work.
So you're waiting for your turn?
Oh, hopefully, yeah.
I think so. You're funny enough, and you got it going on.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is your best or most memorable gig?
Best gig. Probably when in 12 when I won Funniest Person in the amateur, because so many of my friends came out and supported me, and A, it was great to win, but B, it was much more impressive to me just how many people were just supporting the dream. That felt amazing.
That's awesome. That's a lot of love. What is the worst gig you've ever had? Hell gig.
I got booed off the stage at the Levy Funny Bone early in my set. I think I told a joke, and then they just let me have it.
Holy cow! And did you leave the stage?
Oh yeah. No, it was done. It was like I wasn't gonna. It wasn't like a couple people were going boo. It was like the audience was, not everyone, but most of them were booing. So I got the hell out of there.
Didn't feel the love that night.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. This has been 5 Questions of Lightning Round with Spark Tabor.
Thank you.
And we are here at Wiley's doing 5 Questions of Lightning Round with Linda Belt and Vic Clevenger. They just came off stage at Wiley's. I'm just going to ask you guys 5 questions. Just give me the first thing that comes to your mind to answer to it. Linda, how long have you been performing comedy?
11 years.
Spaghetti.
11 years full-time.
And Vic, how long have you been?
7 years full-time, but I was a motivational speaker for about 20 before that.
How many suicides?
Exactly.
No, exactly. What has changed in the time you've been performing comedy?
Oh, good question. I got to think about that for a minute. The clubs. The clubs have changed a lot. I've noticed, sadly, reduction of numbers of shows. I used to have some clubs were Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, 2 shows, Friday night, 2 shows, Saturday. I have my home club, unfortunately, has gone from there's no Thursday night show anymore, and now 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry that
that's a good one, because the only one
Yeah.
I know of that does like a week-long shows is Stardome down in Birmingham, Alabama. So everybody else is just doing weekends. The biggest thing that's changed a lot, I guess maybe it's always been this way, but it seems to be more prevalent now, is star power at a show. You don't necessarily have to have talent to headline. You just have to draw a crowd.
So if you've got a movie credit to your name, all of a sudden you're the headliner.
Exactly.
Regardless of whether you have the material or you're funny.
Right.
Okay, that's a good one.
I have to agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your best or most memorable gig that you've ever performed?
Boy, I've had so many over the years that that's a tough one.
It is.
I mean, they're memorable for different reasons.
What jumps out at you?
Oh, I'm going to tell you one that was memorable, and I remember why. It wasn't like a big show. It was actually a solo show. It was a private show. It was a fundraiser, of all places, in Brattleboro, Vermont. And I did an hour solo show. It was a fundraiser for a Catholic school, not for the kids or the parents. But what was memorable about that, it was exactly 6 days after my father's death that I went out and performed. And I didn't think I was going to be able to. And so it was memorable it was bittersweet. It was very memorable because I decided that I did that to honor my father, who absolutely loved the fact that I was doing comedy.
That is
He was
awesome.
so proud of that.
You're going to make me cry. Oh, yeah.
It's tough. I did that with my mom when she passed away. I was in Wichita at Jeremiah Bullfrogs. Or is it Wichita or Topeka? One of them. And it was a week after she passed away. So those are always memorable.
Yeah.
Then you always remember some of the hell gigs.
We're going to go to that here in just a second.
Yeah.
But when you say that the show was memorable after they passed, would you say you had a good set, a bad set?
I had a fabulous set because I decided going in that I was going to do that set in honor of my father.
That is awesome.
And I dedicated the set to him before and actually talked to him, in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, I'm still
Wow.
here. We buried him on a Sunday, and that show was Saturday, so it was less than a week. And I didn't think I could do it, but I did it. Yeah.
Holy cow! How about you? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I don't think it was one of my best sets because I was still reeling from that. Because Mom was always a hallmark. She was the standard. She's what held the families together. So when she left, the family reunions would be gone and stuff. So it was kind of a bittersweet. But I did okay. I mean, I sold merch, and that's how you measure it.
Fair enough. You got gas money?
Am I right? Exactly.
Yeah, gas money to get home. I know.
Feed the kids. Yeah.
Well, let's go the opposite. What's one of the worst gigs or the biggest hell gigs that you've had? We'll start with Vic.
Oh man, I did a buffet one time. I did for a police thing. I was the opening act. I was a feature. No microphone, no sound, and the buffet was still open. And so I was trying.
You competed with the mashed potatoes.
I was trying to talk to somebody, and some guy was still eating. I went over to him and said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He says, "Don't bother me, I'm eating." I'm like, "All right." So, and I never worked for that. Of course, it was charter, but I never worked for them again. So I'm like, well, there's a reason why I don't do charter.
Oh wow,
it was
that
crazy.
is too funny.
What about you, Miss
I had
Linda?
a couple of dingers like that too, and they usually revolve around food.
Oh yeah, I hate doing it.
I had one where the woman said to me, "Okay, it was a Chamber of Commerce event in Connecticut, and I was so excited because it was this gorgeous venue." And she said, and they broke off to into different groups, and she said, "Oh, you'll be performing during lunch." I said, "But wait a minute, these are round tables, so 50% of these people are going to have their backs to me while they're eating." And another one was it was fun, but it was an outdoor event where they had no stage and I had heels on, and they asked me to stand up on a picnic table and use that as my stage. We've had some doozies. I mean, I'd have to stop and think about.
What, Linda? What advice would you give for a newcomer coming up in the business, just getting started?
My advice to newcomers is that unfortunately they don't listen to it because I try to mentor new comics all the time. I tell them when they're doing an open mic, stay in the room, watch the other comics, try to differentiate yourself, try to be different. You have to be different to run from the pack. There has to be something, and the only way you're going to discover that is to watch the other acts. I tell the guys, try not to be misogynistic, try to remember that 50% of your audience are women. I also tell new comics one of the biggest mistakes I see is if they go to a club and they do a guest spot, is they'll leave and go outside and smoke or drink with their buddies, and they don't stay in the room to watch the headliner. I tell them that even if they don't like their act, there's a reason that person is headlining, and they have a lot to learn from the veteran comics. A lot. I learned a lot. And I still watch veteran
That's great
comics.
advice. That really is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Is always be a student. One of the things is find your voice. Find out who you are as a comic. So many guys, like me, I try to be Dave Chappelle, and it just doesn't work for me. No, just kidding. So many.
You're in Dave Chappelle country. He stops in for spots all the time here.
But so many comics try to be somebody else. But you look at all the comics that stand out, and I say this in any profession: cover bands never make it huge because all they're doing is being somebody else. Same thing with comics trying to be a Foxworthy, a Dave Chappelle, a Larry the Cable Guy, a Linda Bell. You're trying to be one of these people, you'll not make it. You've got to find your own voice. find out who you are, and like Linda, to kind of piggyback on Linda, is kind of be different, because what makes you makes you unique and makes you different than what makes me, what makes Linda her, and each comic is their own person. And if you try to be somebody else, then you're not really going. You're always going to be that person. It's different than being compared to them. You just got to find your voice. Like I've been compared a lot to the redneck guys. But I'm unique. I'm different than those guys.
And one thing I noticed that both of you had in common: the minute you guys hit the stage, you made contact with the audience and made them your friend, but you took command of the stage and it was yours. I did notice that both of you guys did that. I mean, it was very interesting for me to see that.
I think that comes from experience.
I think so. And the stages,
confidence.
The stages are home. I protect the stage. The stage. I feel like the stage is just like if somebody's trying to break into my house down in Florida, I've got a gun waiting for them on the other side. Same thing with the stage. The stage is my home. Don't do anything to disrespect my home. And when I walk into my house down in Florida, I can kick my shoes off, unbuckle my pants, and sit there in my underwear. Same thing with the stage, although I don't know unbuckle my pants.
That's probably better protection than the gun.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Look at you throwing out jokes. This is our dang interview, man. We are the star. But it's you when the stage is comfortable, when the stage is your home, you can go and do that. You can kick your feet up. And that's what Linda did. That's what Dennis did. That's what I try to do. Is the stage is where I get in my recliner and kick my feet up. In a picture. If you want to do, you get a picture kind of.
Get that comfort
level.
Yeah,
because if I do any crowd work, that takes time and practice. And because you have to learn, if you're going to let them in, you have to know when to get them out.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to allow them in, if you notice, I answer for my audience.
Yeah.
You like older women, don't you? Like, I answer for them.
And a couple times you said, don't answer that.
Don't answer right. Yeah. I let them in a little bit because I need to know when you're out. I'll let you in, but I'm going to control the
kind of like having guests at the house.
Like,
guests.
Time to go.
Yeah, visitors and fish. 3 days, that's it. Same thing on the crowd. You want to let them in, get them out.
Your Last Supper joke, is that new?
Brand new tonight. Was
I loved it.
I
loved it. Saw it, liked it.
Kill tonight. She's
amazing.
Amazing.
Wait a minute. Tonight, I am so excited. When did I tell you that joke? 2 days ago.
She's talking to Mr. Ohio.
To Mr. Ohio.
The guy that I will replace if he passes away.
Who has those relatives?
No, you told that joke, and I was like, I've seen your act 3 times now, and
that's brand new.
That was a brand new, and it hit really good. Everybody liked
brand
it.
Brand new.
Myself and Sean Lynch were.
Mr. Ohio actually does have a Last Supper in his kitchen area, and I go, well, no, not with your family. Your version would be a little different.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget what it was you said tonight, but it triggered a joke I'm going to write about NASCAR fans and how they cried at the death of Dale Sr., but they never cried at their own wedding or the birth of their kids. So I'm going to go there.
You're right, because it was more important.
Understood.
It's all about priorities for us in the South.
Their kids didn't create this, the Talladegas.
Like sometimes our kids, we can always make another one. There'll never be another Dale Earnhardt.
That's exactly right. On that happy and positive note, I'm going to cut off here. Miss Linda Belt, thank you very much. Let's plug you with
amazing tonight.
Oh,
Thank
goodness.
You, Vic.
So let's get the plugs in.
Now, this is the first time I've met Vic. We've been Facebook friends for years.
We've talked like we're best friends from high school.
On the phone.
There's no reason you wouldn't. Vic's very approachable. Vic has been awesome to me. I begged him to get on a show with him in Logan, West Virginia, and he said, like any good comic that's headline show, how much is it going to cost me? And I said, no. I said, just listen to my set and tell me what you think. And he and I flatter myself to say we've been friends ever since.
We've been fast friends for a long time.
Yeah. And you also have always given me help.
I will.
But, okay, let's get the plugs in. What's your website, Linda?
My website is lindabelt.com or lindacomedy.com. Either one. If you can't remember my last name, if you can't remember lindabelt.com, just lindacomedy.
Okay, and what is yours?
I'm about as creative as Linda. It's VicClevenger.com. And that's about... You can find me that way on Twitter, Facebook, everything.
Okay. Well, that's our time. This has been 5 Questions with Linda Belt and Vic Clevenger.
I just said it was going to be 3 minutes, man. I've been here for half an hour.
Yeah, well, you shut up, you wouldn't have been.
One on one.
Okay, we're going to end on that happy note.
All right, and that was Carlin's 5 questions with Doug, Sean, Spark, Linda, and Vic, some of my favorite comedians.
Oh, they're
ever.
great. They've
I
put
love
on a
them.
hell of a show down at
I
Wiley's.
love Linda. I love the Jersey Jew. I love her.
She puts on a great show every time I see her.
That was probably a great show because you've got the Beard and Doug,
Yes.
and you've got Sean's the last, and then Spark, of course, the African American token on the show, and Linda, the Jersey Jew, and then Vic, the Southern gentleman. That was probably a well-diverse show.
Sean Lynch had one of the best lines I've heard this year. He was talking about painting, and all painters are usually felons. And he talked about trying to keep from getting his little ass cut. And he said he called it Sean Shank Prevention. And I thought that was pretty cool. Hey, I've been sitting here wondering, you guys have gigged around, Thomas and Steve, and you've been doing shows forever. What's one of the most screwed up gigs you ever did, Thomas?
I was trying to think when we were kind of spitballing here.
Did you ever have to fight for your money or chase your money?
No. Usually it's self-inflicted. If I'm getting beat up, it's my own fault.
Oh, okay.
Running into stuff. Probably just a handful of times being overly inebriated.
Uh-huh.
And by handful, I mean exponential.
About every other time. Understood.
Every second Tuesday.
Yes, exactly. What about you, Steve? You remember any hell gigs or anything that you've ever stands out as being horrific or?
Oh man, there was this one time in Circleville I had to play wagon wheel 3 times in one night.
I would have
No
killed
way.
myself.
Oh. We specifically are on the wagon wheel haters.
Yeah, we're with you guys on that.
I used to love it, when Old Crow back in 2002, when I heard it the first time.
Well, that's what I even on stage. I said I liked Wagon Wheel the first 736 times I heard it, and then I heard 533 bands butcher it, and I'm over it. I'm done. It's like,
Just would not quit. And the last time we had to play it was like 1:30 in the morning, and we're like, "All right, dude, we'll do it." He's like, "But you know the Darius Rucker version?" We're like,
you're like, yeah, I know Hootie's fucking version, you assholes. See, I'm not a Hootie fan either, so that Hootie covering that song just made it even worse for me.
Like, come on.
I'm over the cracked review CD of Hootie. I'm done with all that, and I heard that 46 million times. And every guy that ever got dumped by a chick, what was the one whiny bitch song that he had?
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yes, I forget what the name it was.
That letter Cry?
Yeah, Let It Cry.
Or something,
yeah, and the sun comes out tomorrow. Yeah, it makes me cry now.
It just makes you want to open a vein. It really does. You just feel like I'm over. That's that stupid Wagon Wheel song, and I do that joke about it, and so when people groan in the audience, I hate Wagon Wheel. I just look at them, I'm like, just shut the fuck, don't talk to me after the show, don't come near me.
Exactly.
My roommates and I, we used to have a plot. We were going to assassinate Hootie. We loved David Letterman, and we had this. There were 4 of us lived in a house, and we smoked a lot of weed. And we sat around. We said we were going to get Letterman tickets, and we wanted to get on the show that Hootie was the musical guest on, like blow darts, and we were going to take him out in the middle of the performance. And when you're high, when you're in your early 20s and you're high,
get some poison darts.
Yeah, that's what we were going to do. We were going to conceal them in and get in the studio audience, and then when Hootie come up, we were just going to and just take him out on national television. And I thought we will be national treasures if we do that.
Ace Ventura's ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we thought that was fun.
But things make sense when you're high.
They did. Yeah.
I was coming home from Jackson with my buddy, who I'm just going to call Richie. And I was stoned harder than
Richie.
a gay man. Yeah, than a gay man in a Muslim country. I mean, I was wasted. So the cops get behind us, and I start thinking, what are we going to do? And I remember in his tackle box, he had this little .22 pistol, and I'm carrying a pizza on my lap that we're going to eat when we get back to the house. And I said, Richie, if he pulls us over, I said, start mumbling. I said, when he leans down to listen to you, I said, lean back. I said, I've got this pistol. And I put the pistol in the middle of the pizza in the box. I said, I'll take the pistol and I'll shoot you through the box. He'll never see what's coming to him. And I had this plan for Richie to mumble, the state high patrolman to lean down into the car, Richie to lean back and me to blast the state high patrolman. How could it fail?
I would like to say that the Lori and Carlin show does not condone anyone shooting police officers, a pizza box, or any other time.
I'm pro-police, but at that point in time, I was a little beyond my reason.
So you see, well, other than taking Hootie out when I was high, I never got violent. I mean, it's like,
Well, it's just self-preservation.
Just with Hootie. I would have thought maybe you'd have put a pizza to conceal it. That would have been my thought.
Well, I just had it in the box shut, and I had to pick pizza off my buddy's pistol.
I have to deal with this shit with him every week. Him saying dumbass shit like this. I'm glad that I have attorneys for friends, because we're going to have to call on them one of these days in this damn show.
Not yet. We're not over it, so we're fine. But, so, no hell gigs that you remember or anything that...
Actually, yeah, when I was late light bulb moment here. I was playing a show in Columbus, and I actually got shocked by the microphone pretty badly. That was pretty bad.
Ouch, I guess.
Yeah, like knocked me off my feet.
Did you finish your set, or you like done?
Oh no, I rock started. I finished
Rock
it.
on.
And it knocked you off your feet?
Yeah.
Like
That's
in the middle of
pretty
a
serious.
song?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was really intermittent. Like sometimes you can feel like the little it'll just like carpet shock you.
You got shot in the face?
Yeah, a little bit, but this just one. It just decided to unload. It's like, you know what?
Oh my god.
I've had enough of these people talking shit, and it kissed me hard.
Whoa.
Wow.
I was thinking hell gigs of both of you when I used to work at the Key. We just all get blackout drunk.
Yeah,
That was,
yeah.
Those were some hell gigs.
Yeah.
When we'd like roll out on the sidewalk at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to figure out where the hell we parked and do I still live downtown? Like, do I still live here? Or are we still at Chillicothe? But yeah, then trying to fight crackhead Debbie off and stuff for cigarettes and.
Oh wow.
Hey, hon.
Yeah, hey hon, you got any change?
I can't, Debbie.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Speedway and?
No, I think Debbie just mainly circled the courthouse area,
Oh, okay.
that block around through there. Yeah.
When I lived downtown, it was always really it was really creepy in the middle of the night. You just hear like,
The king.
Yeah. Okay,
and you just wake up in the middle of the night just scared shitless, like, oh no!
Yeah.
But you could just tell by this tap tap click, tap tap.
That
click.
is awesome.
Oh man.
That is awesome.
I thought, I can't. I wish I could remember some of the nights we had with Jameson. The port wine I do vividly remember because that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was like one of the last nights we actually partied balls together.
That was it. Yeah. That
But
was.
yeah. Now I've been to Hummel's house for a couple bonfires. Oh, the night we did the demon voice. What was that thing you had? That
It
pedal?
was like a whammy pedal that made you have
Yeah.
like, a huge
I've borrowed
Satan
that a few
voice.
times.
Oh,
How cool is that?
Well, again, I was drunk and high, and I'm like, oh, I didn't Hummel, and they're like talking to him, like, let me do it, and he made it though, and I was like, I was still working the bar, and remember I used to yell my get the fuck out at the end of the night. I'm like, I need that at the bar, and I was at his house going, get the fuck out, and it just sounded so cool because it was like, whoa, like I was actually Satan, it was awesome.
Just rattling the windows.
Let me just do a couple plugs real quick. Thomas Dirk Moore on Facebook and Steve Hummel on Facebook. You have Lori Graves on. Do you have your website up and running yet?
Not yet, it's almost ready, but I'm on
Okay.
Twitter too,
Okay.
at Lori Ann Graves.
At Lori Ann Graves.
That's where I put my juicy stuff up because the mayor's on my Facebook, but he's not on my
juice.
Twitter.
That is so awesome. We were at Steiner's one night. One of the city councilmen stopped and reintroduced herself to me. Remember we did her birthday party?
Yeah, Beth Neal.
Yep, and she loves your stuff. And it
Oh
just,
yeah,
it was
Beth's
so cool.
great. Yeah, Beth is the city councilman woman that I had to explain that there were drugs and prostitutes in Chillicothe. She wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't travel in the same circles. as we
No,
do.
and I told her, I said, come ride around with me one night. I'll teach you about your town. It was hilarious. But yeah, I've loved Beth for years. I like her and her husband. They're really good people.
Oh, she's an awesome person. So you've got Lori Ann Graves on Twitter. You've got Lori Graves on Facebook. You've got the Lori and Carlin Show on Facebook. And we have a special gift that was given to us last week by Chris Kesey for the most interesting email we get this work to lncshow@yahoo.com. Send it to us, and we will judge emails, and you will get a copy of Chris Kesey's CD, Die in Town. So he was nice enough to donate that to the cause, and he was on the show last week.
What's our email criteria on there? Are we going to do a what the hell?
Well, the most interesting. I don't care if it's sad, if it's happy. If
Send
it's,
us your most interesting email story in 2 paragraphs or less, and we'll judge that.
unless your name is Sean Haggerty. And
Yeah,
no
if you're
more-
Carlin's brother, don't fucking send anything in.
He sent us another one, which I didn't pull up to show you, but yeah, it's just equally as dumb. I think he closed it with, I encourage you and Lori to study hard and work as hard as you can at your day jobs, which is a backhand slap to don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
We'll knock him out.
Exactly.
But, speaking of what the hell,
Yes.
do we have any? We do
Well-
this thing, guys, called what with WTH
Yeah.
moments, and
I did mine kind of early, prematurely, as I'm wont to do. But Lori, what's got you pissed off this week? This is a doozy. I love this.
oh, this one's great. I was on a forum on Facebook called Southern Ohio Bulletin Board, and on this forum, I made the comment that I would never have to write another joke again. I could just sit and read the comments and the posts on this thing with the glaring grammar and spelling errors on stage, and it would just be an awesome set. And people were commenting and laughing, and they were, oh, that's funny, blah blah. And this guy made a comment, and he said, "There's always that one person that thinks they're smarter than the rest of the band of idiots." And of course, you know me. I took that to be insulting. To
And it
me.
was,
And
it
it
was.
was. Because I thought he was insulting my intelligence. So I sent back and I said, no, I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. Funnier, yes, but smarter, no.
And that's
Then-
pretty accurate.
Yeah. So
Although I would say you're smarter. You're a pretty smart lady.
I like to think I am. I got
But-
31 on my ACT, which was many cells ago, but I used to be highly intelligent.
You're also not running down the street shoving it down people's throat either. You're just you do your thing.
Yeah. So I made a comment and I said, about the being funnier, and he said, I challenge you to a laugh off any day of the week, any forum. Just let me know. So I immediately bounced back, and I'm like, I've got an open mic at the dock, May 14th, 8 p.m. I'll save you a slot. Bring your best 5 minutes of material. At this point, he still did not realize I was a comic. I think he just thought I was another one of them schmoes on that website, posting stuff. So I made this public to this gentleman. I'm not going to say his name. I made this public that, he had challenged me to a laugh off. And then I get a link that was posted in the Chillicothe Gazette last fall. And the headline, it's about this gentleman, and it says, suspect arrested after Chester Hill Road standoff. So once again, Lori has attracted one of the biggest weirdos in Ross County to come to her open mic, and I'm openly challenging this guy, like, come on, not knowing that he shot at police officers. So then he sends me this big old long message about how he didn't want to come and do comedy because he said that my followers would be and haters. Carlin replied, welcome to comedy. That's every time you go on stage. So he sent me a thing and said he was going to back out. Now, the editor of the Gazette sent me a text and said, I don't think he'll be able to make it on May 14th because his court date is May 10th and bond might be an issue. So I only assume that I'm assuming this gentleman, May 14th, will probably be in the bright orange uniform awaiting transport to his respective prison that he'll be spending a lot of time in.
His new home.
So, he did apologize for insulting me and my intelligence, and I did accept that, and I did wish him well, in his endeavors, which in prison. I saw his mugshot. I don't think he's going to get sold for cigarettes or anything. He might get his ass kicked for being a smart ass to someone, but
he's going to be cleaning other guys' cells to keep his.
Yeah, but the reason why the cops he was shooting at the police officers is because the drug helicopter flew over his house and spotted his plants, and I guess the sheriff rolled up to his door to get the plants, and he didn't want to give the plants. That started the whole thing, and I'm just thinking, give up your plants, dude. If you gave your plants, you wouldn't be in the paper. You could come to open mic and try to be funny. But I already had lined up a full riot gear set to wear to open mic that night.
Awesome.
And I was going to go on stage the first time with the face shield on, bulletproof vest, and look at him in the audience and be like, dude, I didn't know. I didn't know if I should prepare for you in more than one way.
Well, let me kind of turn this into music. Have you ever had anybody that wanted to come on stage and they just knew they were the best thing age and couldn't cut the mustard?
Well, speaking of which, there was a gentleman here tonight who was
just knew he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Well, he was pretty inebriated.
Okay.
Ham bone. And,
Yeah.
And he likes to come up in the middle of
Sure.
the song and request a song.
Yeah.
Because you can't be less. Just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? While I got you here.
Oh, didn't know I was invited to your living room.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to work here,
Yeah, because don't you think sometimes they don't realize that this is your job and you're getting paid?
No, I don't.
And that's
think
where
they do,
where this cat gets off. When you get on stage, you make it look like it's real natural and you're just having a conversation with the audience, which is what you're supposed to do. But people see that and they think, wow, that's easy. Anybody can do it. No, it's not goddamn easy. We practice for months and months. And I know that when I do a set, if I have a pause or I say something that's off the cuff or what, it's not off the cuff. I've said it in front of my mirror 500 goddamn times before I come on.
Yeah, you practice that
creepiness,
the quip. Yeah, like and people think, that was great off the top of your head. Like, no, it was off the top of my head 6 shows ago, and now I've worked it into my set.
Yeah,
that's how
I
it
practice
happens.
on it. But they look at this and they see, oh, that's easy. They're doing it.
Have you guys ever had anybody, like, when you're playing, like, show up at the venue with their own musical instrument and want to join in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially,
That's
I think
how
more
I
often.
That's how I
That's how it is. Actually,
Steve gets
actually
gigs.
found out- I just met Steve outside, and it's like, that's a lot of equipment. You might as well just bring.
You
it
might
over.
as well, yeah.
Since you took all the effort.
You're just driving around in your van looking for a place to play music. Like, I'll pop in here. I hear music playing. But seriously, have you had anybody do that? Approach you like, hey, can I play one song with you?
Oh yeah, who was that fellow around here? He claimed he used to play for, a national band, touring band or whatever, and he always played the harmonicas.
Oh God!
And that's the worst thing because you can hide them in your pocket. And they're like, hey man, we're doing really.
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
Ambush you, huh?
It's super like guerrilla warfare.
It is.
Guerrilla tactics.
Did you think they were requesting a song, and all of a sudden he's like, well, I kind of have my harmonica here.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you would have the spoons and play along.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's the worst is when people have said instrument or.
Has anyone ever showed up with a washboard or anything? Or
wish.
You wish?
Compared to the harmonica.
Yeah. It's like, you're not even the right key. You're not in the right key.
But I used to play with a national band in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had like the garter belt, like the
Yeah.
weight trainer belt where you could put your harmonicas in.
No way. He had a weight belt. I'm pretty sure that you're talking about. I'm not.
Yeah.
Describe him. It's okay. Nobody's
older
listening
gentleman.
to
You know, got me for $80.
this.
Almost. Danny
What was
from
he
the cross,
soliciting?
he's like, dude, he told me that he needed a ride out to this bar, establishment or whatever. He's like, man, I don't have a car. He's like, I'm from the VA. I think he's a vet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what, man? I was like, if you need $80 or whatever,
Wow.
whatever. I felt really bad for him.
I need some gas money for the ride home.
Yeah, Dirk's got it. It's on Dirk's tab.
on
That's
Dirk's
how I'm
tab?
drinking. I showed up with my guitar.
Thanks,
Yeah.
brother.
For it.
You're the best.
Good
Oh,
thing
you
I
don't
just
need
changed my name to the sign. So I
But
don't
did
need
you almost gave him the money?
Yeah, I had it out of the A-team and everything, and just to him because he gave me this. I was pretty hammered or whatever, but it was like, dude, I was like, I'll help you out whatever I can, And Danny's like humble, and he grabs my hand. He's like, don't give that son of a bitch that money. I was like, why? He's like, he lives right down the street. So that's the worst thing because we were actually going to try to get him up there and play.
Well, yeah, because you try to be nice to people, and they always end up
Screwing
you over. Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's just weird that I think people just get in their mind that, hey, they make it look so easy. I think I can do this or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you, I know how to play. I for years, I don't think I could. Music's a whole different element than comedy. I mean,
But
yeah.
over at the Cross Keys, had a guy one night that showed up, was going to do it, and was drunk, went over his time and rambled on, did not have a punchline.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah. He kept telling me. I said, have you practiced? And he goes, no, I'm just gonna wing it. And I'm like, go ahead, buddy.
Oh.
I had a kid show up one time. He got Mags only got 5 minutes. So I'm like, dude, everybody gets 5 minutes. That's any open mic you go to, you're getting 5 minutes. That's industry standard.
And five is actually generous because some just get 3.
Yeah, and he said, well, I've got 30 minutes of material. And I said, well, how long have you been doing first time on stage? And I said, well, you get 5 minutes. He was on stage for 3 minutes and 10 seconds and goes, well, that's all I've got. Thank you. And I was bartending. It was the bank. He came over to the bar, and I was like, so how did that 30 minutes of material go? And he goes, oh, I guess I didn't have as much as I thought. And I was like, you need to go home and practice a little more, buddy. I was like, you just know. I mean, first time I did comedy, I thought I had like half hour, 40 minutes. I had 6 pages front and back wrote out. 2.5 minutes, and I thought, what? And what am I? I mean, you're just like, you can't. I mean, there's no way. It's just you can't.
You told me 5 minutes. I did 7.5 my first night.
Carlin,
Now,
you always go over my open mic just because you act like we're dating and shit. That's why.
It's one of those things that I do. But I thought I didn't know how much time I did. I obviously just like now, I have no clue how much time I do when I get up there. The only time I nailed it was down at Wiley's for Rich Voss. They said 9 minutes. I did 9 minutes and 6 seconds. But
Well, so you respect Rich Voss. Thanks, Carlin.
no, I just got a watch. I didn't have a watch on.
Yeah. Last week, like 2 weeks ago, my anniversary show here, I'm like, everybody gets a strict 5 minutes. We get 5 minutes on time. Carlin next to the stage, 6:22. And I'm like, thanks, Carlin. Minute, half over.
I don't know. Give me a light. Jesus Christ, it's half your
He was
fault.
too busy
You run the
passing
show.
out them 2 shirts he had because some chick stole his T-shirt.
Oh,
that
yeah.
night. Here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Two little girls stole my T-shirts, and I know it's a stupid bit, but my timing for my opening bit is giving away 4 T-shirts and having one loose down the bag for the big reveal, and all of a sudden all my T-shirts are gone. I got one to give out. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
It's
though.
kind of like you going up to Steve and saying you had a harmonica and then you didn't have one. That's kind of what that
Yeah,
is.
that's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
exactly right. We got about 90 seconds left. So go out to Thomas. I love that song. It's one of my
It's
favorites.
my favorite song.
Me and Lori slow danced to that at the prom.
Yeah.
She was 7.
Yeah. Carlin was 24.
This song is called The Levee.
The Levee.
And this is another Thomas Dirk original?
It is.
All right.
What does this song pertain to, and is it about?
Getting drunk and being in a
freaking
flood.
levee.
It's a levee. It's about a fucking levee. A tax levy, a Chevy on the
Like
levee.
like Chevy on the levee.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't know.
fuck's sake. Did you say
Like a-
tax levy?
A
You
wall.
said levee.
He's an idiot.
Wall.
She's a bigger idiot.
Yeah, it's a wall.
Yeah, a wall.
Okay, it's a wall. Great.
A
Now we
long-running
know.
dam.
There we
if you
go.
will.
Thomas, I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
He's the idiot. I'm a smart one.
I'm asking for clarity, and all of a sudden I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Excuse the
Ask
hell
the
out
dude
of
on
me.
Southern Ohio Bulletin Board. I'm smart.
Yeah, that's
I can't
great.
claim anything for 5 years.
Well,
This is my song, The
I
Levee.
guess I could have asked you how it was spelled, and then we would have known.
No, but he wouldn't have known, so it's okay.
Yeah, I spelled the
exactly.
Levi forever.
But
Well, on this happy note, let's go to Thomas Dirk. Let's get our plugs in. Thomas Dirk Moore on Facebook, Steve Hummel on Facebook, Lori Ann Graves on Twitter, Lori Graves on Facebook, Carlin Haggerty on Facebook, lncshow@yahoo.com. This is the Lori and Carlin Show on Gone Rogue Radio.
I'd like to thank Thomas Dirk and Steve Hummel for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
And we're going to go right to your beautiful music. Thanks a lot for coming in, guys.
I appreciate it.
Gonna watch this bottom till it's done. Gonna tip this bottle on the life in my blood. I don't need to be thinking, so I'm gonna keep on drinking. Gonna tip this bottle on the life in my blood. The rains turned dried earth to mud. Took at least 7 lives. As if our prayers were answered all at once, and the levee gave way to the weight of our cries. Oh, mercy me. Oh, mercy me. We're taken to our grave by a tempest with no name, only to test the deep of man in his will, to stay locked away in his home. We deserve mercy, but who am I to say that we deserve? Gonna watch this bottom till it's done. Gonna tip this bottle on the life in my blood. I don't need to be thinking, so I'm gonna keep on drinking. Tip this bottle on the life in my blood. Boarded in to keep the flooding out. The rain still pours through the crack in my door, and water keeps my boots on all through the night. Drink and swim like a fish, can't walk like a man anymore. For the river in my room, pay the boatman with empty bottles, Lord, he can't come too soon. I know what pain and guilt does to a man's last breath. It's quick and it's strong, you're home to remember the best, but and all my the crow along the wheels taught me how to sleep. When the cold water dances across my chest, it's quick and it's short, Lord. You hope to remember the best. Gonna watch this bottle till it's done. Gonna tip this bottle and life in my blood. I don't need to be thinking, so I'm gonna keep on drinking. Tip this bottle till life in my blood. Tip this bottle till life.